Hey, Merry Christmas, everyone. So, tonight, on this Christmas Eve, I wanted to share my experiences and knowledge about dealing with narcissists at Christmas. And I'll probably add different holidays as well. So I'm just going to kind of freestyle this and wonder if all of you have any of these experiences. So some of my experiences with narcissists at Christmas time kind of overlap and were repetitive. And as I've told you guys, I do stay to myself a lot, but I have a handful of friends and family members that I interact with. My peace is top priority. So one thing, and this is back when I didn't understand what narcissism was. It happened quite a few times. I would go to somebody's house for Christmas Eve, or Thanksgiving, and the person who was hosting or the main place that we were gathering, that person would blow a gasket, make a scene, lose their shit, go off. And what would make it worse is nobody would understand why they were upset. And actually, in the end, you never do. Because what it is it's narcissistic rage. And when they are not in complete, total control, well, the situations that I experienced, that was the reason for the rage. They were not in complete and utter control of the situation. So because of that, they just went off. Made a big, huge scene. Went to the bar, because why not, right? Now everybody's like, what's wrong? What's the matter? Completely ruined the experience. And the one I'm thinking about was Thanksgiving. And I remember myself thinking, I can't believe I drove all this way out here for this. And before I understood what narcissism was, or for all these people that get all anal retentive about the word narcissism, let's just say abuser or abusive. Is that soft enough for everyone? So, yeah, in that situation, it was because they did not have complete, dominating control over everyone, over the entire situation, everything. They didn't like that. So the person raised a great big, big to-do, talking crazy, didn't make any sense, which also is part of that weird narcissistic circular talk. And they'd make no damn sense. Now everybody's got the attention on them. What's the matter? What's the problem? And the sad thing is you're not going to please them or make them happy. Because when they're throwing this tantrum or this fit, that is their narcissistic supply. That is their fuel. So they're not going to stop with that behavior. They might start crying. It's not going to even make any damn sense. Because when normal people or more healthy people cry, we have a reason to cry. When they cry, it's to manipulate everyone around them, to get everyone to feel sorry for them, poor them, poor them, poor them. They're so abused, they're so mistreated. Nobody's good enough for them. Everyone is doing something wrong. They didn't cook the turkey right. They didn't buy the turkey from the right store. Whatever it is. It's going to sound real crazy. It's going to be stupid, idiotic talk. And everyone around, if they are not familiar with abusiveness or this type of behavior, everyone's going to be confused, which is like cognitive dissonance. Me personally, I don't even really like that phrase, but it does cover what you feel like, because you're sitting there saying, what the F? You know what I mean? You're like, what the F? And one of my responses usually is fawning. I've got a few responses, but fawning is one that I use a lot. Gratefully, I don't do a lot of freezing. But yeah, it's just, it's crazy. I cannot tell you how many Christmases this kind of stuff happened with me and the narcissistic part of the family. I used to get so freaking mad because I was usually on I wouldn't say it was extremely low income, but I was always struggling, because it's like that old song, Me, Myself, and I, which, go figure. It was me, myself, and I. Or, if I was paired up with a romantic partner, a man, I may as well have been on my own anyways. So I'm going over here scraping, my last dime together to get presents, wrapping them up, doing all this hokey dokey stuff, driving in the snow. Because, that's another thing. You always have to go to them. Always. Always. Don't you dare ever invite them to your house and think they're going to come to your house. And I mean, some do, because they love to ruin your home experience. But in my experiences with narcissists, you're coming to their house. You're going to cater to them. You're going to use the blanket they told you to sleep on. You're going to use the pillow they told you to sleep with. All of that. Because the reason for that is they need dominance. They need to control. And what might come across as, what's the word I'm looking for? Hospitality. When you really get down to the nitty-gritty of everything, it's about control. It's the only thing that these individuals care about. Well, I mean, they do care about themselves, number one. But everything about them is about control. Another experience that I had with other narcissists were, and not necessarily Christmas, but this will get brought up for Christmas because of all the gift giving. A lot of narcissists want everyone in the room to know how much they paid for a gift. It is the creepiest, weirdest thing. It's so creepy. There was one distant narcissistic relative, like very distant. And it used to be a joke in our family that she had to tell everyone how much money she paid for the gift, Or she loved to leave the price tags on. It was crazy. Or another thing that I've seen, which I thought was in very poor taste. Now, you guys know I'm not materialistic. You guys should know that by now. But, it's that old saying, it's the thought that counts. Things don't have to be expensive. They don't have to be fancy. But quite a few times in my adult life, I would get these really tacky gifts that were, how to explain this without giving too much away? You know how a lot of cities will have these, like, donation, like social services type nonprofits will have places where you can get donations, various donations, like you might get blankets, pillows, you might get, for Christmas time, maybe they have like old toys or something. I would get gifts from these like free items that this person got. Now again, I'm not materialistic. I mean, if I would have gotten like a beautiful card made of construction paper or typing paper or, with love and kindness, that would have been fine. But what it is meant to do is to show you you're not worth anything. They will give you like the most like grotesque, ugly gifts on purpose. And then they love to see the disappointment in your face. Or a lot of times you'll be confused, because the things that they do are confusing. Because you don't understand what they're doing or why they're doing it. So, yeah, that was my experience dealing with various narcissists at Christmas time. Oh, so many blow-ups. Just ruined the entire night. But not before you made sure that you spent your entire paycheck buying everybody nice gifts. And then everybody tears through the presents, no relaxation. Then they would have the blow up. Because they wanted to make sure they got the presents. It's just so diabolical and manipulative and low vibrational, cruel, evil. So basically these individuals just want you to come drop off the nice gifts that you've gotten, which I don't do any of this anymore. Drop off these nice gifts that you've given because you're like the ATM, you know what I mean? Then they open the gifts, and then they throw this big, huge argument, whatever, it's going to be something crazy. Now nobody wants to be there, so everyone leaves. Yeah, that happened way too many times to me. And then I just mostly stopped participating in any type of various, family gatherings. So, yeah, it's just, and it's always got to be so stressful being around them. It always is. And now you can distinguish toxic between narcissism, and I'm sure there's crossovers. And as I've said, I'm sure I've been toxic. I'm not a perfect person. But where you start to get into any narcissism is the manipulation. That's where that comes in. When you can feel people are trying to manipulate you, that's what it is. And also, too, no empathy, which I'm going to do some more videos on no empathy. I don't know. As I said, I want to start a narcissism channel. I have to figure out how to move my videos to a new channel. I don't know how to do that. They will do their best to make you feel bad. They want to make you feel dumb. They want to make you feel inadequate, less than. Maybe you're not as good as they are because you didn't give birth to children. That was always that was always a nice one. What else? And manipulating time. Actually having that big blow up and the big raging, that's manipulating people's time. Another thing I noticed too is if you go to any of these family gatherings with narcissistic people or abusive manipulators, whatever you want to call them, they love to get you to bring something that's going to be hard for you to pay for, or something exotic, because they enjoy using you. That is actually really true. And if you have a lot of money or if you don't have a lot of money, it kind of doesn't matter. They use people in a different ways. But something that I noticed is it never mattered that I was by myself, single, paying all my bills by myself. They want you to purchase the really expensive cheese plate or whatever it is. They don't care. They do not care about you. And the more desolate, the more broke, the more dejected, less than sad, angry, frustrated, confused, they can leave you, the happier they are. Because by doing these things to you and making you feel whatever it is you're feeling, maybe you're pissed off, maybe you're hurt, you're so disappointed that your family members would treat you like this, or your friends, so-called friends. Whatever it is that you're dealing with internally, because usually, for the most part, I know with myself, you just stuff it inside. Because who are you going to talk to about it? There's really no one to talk to about it. What I did is I started journaling. That helped me a lot. They thrive on that. That you feeling bad about yourself or less than or dejected fuels them, because the only way that they can get their narcissistic supply, or what we would call validation, like true validation. Like for us, validation is something altogether different than what a narcissist gets. They take from us to get their own fuel, because they are not able internally to fuel themselves. They're not able to do that. And like Dr. Romani talks about so much, they are fueled by insecurity. I don't know exactly how she words it, but that's exactly right. I knew a narcissist who just couldn't get enough cosmetic surgery. Couldn't get enough, what is all that stuff they do? Botox, all that shit. Was never enough. And yes, men would gawk at her, but I used to laugh. I used to think to myself, if you only knew. And honestly, men that gawk too much at women like that, I mean, no shade to anyone, but where are your values? Of course, external beauty is great. All women, I'm a woman, I want to look beautiful. But if you only value a woman, I'm talking about heterosexual males, for what she looks like, then you're going to get what you get. You know what I mean? So, I'm just, while I'm on here with you guys, I'm thinking, going back through time, oh my goodness, I have to share this one. I just get irritated just thinking about this. This was many years ago. I was dealing with a narcissist that I didn't know. I didn't know back then. So it was Thanksgiving. And I was going to make the turkey. Of course, I was making it, right? Who else was going to do it? Well, that's not 100% true. But anyways. So I was going to cook the turkey the way my mother used to, in one of those portable, like, slow roasters. I forget what they're called. They're like, you plug it into the wall, but it's like, you can roast a turkey in it. I'll never forget this as long as I live. One of the narcissists I was dealing with, so I put the turkey in just the way my mother used to do, in the middle of the night. I don't know, 2 a.m. or something like that. So I get up in the morning, I'm going to have some coffee. The frickin' roaster was unplugged. Oh my God. I don't even know how to tell you guys how angry I was. That was probably one of the last years I spent with that particular narcissist. And even though my dad, he could be a jerk. There were 1 or 2 narcissistic things he used to do. And he definitely was not a perfect person. My entire family was not riddled with narcissists. There's a few, and they're enough, And I often wonder how society helps to create these narcissists, honestly. So, love to ruin people's holidays. They love it. They love it. And what they need the most is a stage. Because everything they do is an act. All these like headlines and things that you see on the news and, well, I'm not going to go into the whole what's going on in our world. But when you see like a lot of public figures that are narcissists, it's so cookie cutter. The PR agents, they have to control the narrative. It's all narcissism. And there are a lot of celebrities and public figures that are not necessarily narcissistic. But a lot of them are. A lot of them are. So in order for their narratives to keep going, to get steam from us, they're assigning us a role, you see? And if you don't just snap your shoulders back and accept that role, you are gonna know. They're gonna let you know. You better do this. You better get back in line. They may do it by one of their favorites, that I know of, is put downs, minimizing your accomplishments. Oh, any idiot could get that degree. You know what I mean? The holidays are one of their favorite times to get their narcissistic fuel. And a favorite of theirs is to break down crying. And it'll always be very theatrical. And if you already have a decent intuition, something's going to feel weird. It's not going to feel right. You're going to be like sitting in the room thinking, why are they wailing like that? You know what I mean? It doesn't fit what they're saying it is about. Or they'll bring up a topic that has nothing to do with everyone sitting down and having dinner. Like it will be all the way on left field. And again, you'll be sitting here scratching your head like, what is their ex-husband having an extramarital affair 25 years ago have to do with anything? You know what I mean? It'll just be like so crazy and so off. Of course, they love to use children for their manipulations. I mean, it might be, now we're going to show everyone that I'm the perfect grandma in the whole world. Haven't seen their grandchildren in 7 years, but now they want to hold them in front of everyone and show everyone they are grandma of the year or mother of the year. It's always like once you start recognizing the things they do, it's so over the top. In fact, one person I knew that was very narcissistic in nature, it's the voice inflections, which I kind of noticed a little with Jaguar Wright, and a lot of people talk about the things she's done. I'm not going to go too deep into her, but I noticed with one person I was dealing with that syrupy, oh, hey, like too much. Super syrup. I do not trust anyone that talks like that. You know how we all have a tendency to talk to either babies or toddlers, or when you have a pet dog or a cat, people that kind of talk like that to you, something's wrong. Something's freaking wrong. It might not even be they're a narcissist. I personally think it is narcissism, but people don't talk like that. I mean, unless there's like some type of mental health issue. I don't know. But for a narcissist, Christmas time is a time for them to shine with whatever it is they want to present to the world. It might be that they're a bully. They're going to be mean to everyone. We got the bullies. Or you have the narcissists that want to show everyone how perfect they are. That they have perfect hair. They have perfect teeth. They have a perfect marriage. They have a perfect dog. Their toddler, who's 2 years old, sitting there not moving a muscle, is perfect. It's always like, whatever it is with them, it's always too much. Something like your intuition is going to tell you something feels weird. Something feels off. And especially you will know by how other people treat you. If people are putting you down, that's rule one and boundary number one to get the F out of there. If I was to walk in a room today and I was talking with someone, maybe it's an acquaintance, I don't know them very well, and they start to put me down, they're going to see the back of my head. I'm walking away. I'm not even going to take it any further than that. That's it. Or always beware if you are around a person that is always putting other people down. That's a problem. Another manipulation that I saw a lot with narcissism and Christmas time is you have to come to them. Not only do you have to come to them, you've got to bring a cheese tray. You've got to bring a cheese and sausage tray from a specific store. You have to bring purple and silver balloons. You have to bring Carmen's eggnog that they only get at the store once a year. Oh, and don't worry about the money. And they'll never pay you. Depending on the narcissist. But the ones that I knew, It's all about them controlling you. They don't care if that cheese and sausage sits in the refrigerator and spoils. It's about them manipulating you. It's like Dr. Ramani and all these other narcissist experts or therapists, coaches, all these folks. Narcissists are transactional. Everything to them is a transaction. So one way that they love to manipulate people during Christmas time is by manipulating who is going to come to the dinner or to the gathering. Are they going to be driving 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is? I personally believe the longer distance they can get somebody to come for Christmas time, the more narcissistic fuel they feel. And don't be surprised if they got their youngest son to fly from Florida to Massachusetts, take time off of work, bring his wife and children to the house. Do not be surprised if that son gets to the house and the narcissistic parents treat him like a dog. It's just, they're really reprehensible creatures, to be honest. And depending on someone's level of healing, is going to tell how much of that treatment they are going to tolerate. And it takes a while to break out of it because, especially if you grew up with it, you don't really know what's going on. And when you're deep in it, it's kind of hard to understand what's happening. I've also seen employers that are narcissistic use Christmas time and Christmas work schedules, etc., as a complete manipulation. Oh, they love it. Ain't no narcissist happier than when they're manipulating a whole staff of people with their time during Christmas. They get giddy. You ever seen narcissists that are giddy? Oh, man. It's gross. Oh, Betty, did you get that form filled out for your time off? I don't know if we can fit you in there. We got 3 people taken off that day. And it's not even, trust me when I tell you this, it's never going to be what they say it is. It's all about them manipulating you watching you squirm because you're either secretly getting super pissed off that they're about to stop your time off, or you're getting ready to cry because you and your husband were looking forward to taking time off together. It's so gross. And they can't help themselves. They just can't. Because their poor self-esteem and deep feeling of inadequacies that formed when they were young has never gone away. And they'll never do any work on themselves. They just won't do it. They get too much narcissistic fuel in being who they are. And they like it like that. And I would love personally to see brain scans of narcissist versus empathic people. And another thing I would have to add in here, and then I'm going to end this video, is the canceling of plans. What better time at Christmas time than to get, let's say you have a young family. The wife is a full-blown, malignant, nasty narcissist. Her and her husband have a 2-year-old toddler. And grandma's excited to see the baby, because she doesn't always get to see the baby. So the plans are that malignant narcissist wife and her husband, who's the abused spouse, are going to drive over to see Grandma and Grandpa along with some of the other family members. So everyone's excited. At the final hour, because they love to wait until the final moments, because there's more, it gives more effect. Like I said, everything with them is a show. Everything is a show. So they're going to wait until the last minute when everyone's sitting there waiting at Grandma and Grandpa's house to say they can't make it because maybe they'll use the baby as an excuse that he's sick. Oh, the baby's sick, we can't come. It's a notorious narcissist thing to do. So now everyone is so disappointed because they were looking forward to seeing the baby. And now nobody's going to see the baby. There's no limits on what they will do to hurt people. Absolutely no limits. None. None. And I believe it's projection. I don't think that narcissistic people have the same type of emotions that we do. I don't even think they feel oftentimes. But they do have, they're kind of like, to me, they remind me of a lizard. Like a lizard might know not to go next to the hot stove. That's kind of what a narcissist reminds me of. Like they have that feeling that, oh, maybe I shouldn't be here. Or, oh, wait, everybody's crying, maybe I should cry. But they don't even have the chemistry in their body or their brain that can ever experience what an empath or a healthy person is able to experience. So that's it, you guys. I hope that this was a little nugget of information for you guys. I would love to know your guys' experiences with narcissism. Hopefully I can figure out getting this new channel. I need to just go research it. So anyways, Merry Christmas to everyone. Have a happy, lovely, narc-free holiday. Peace.